Diary of a Pig Zombie, a psychological mystery for kids. Kids' adventure stories. Written by Jeff Child. Narrated by John H. Feskins. Introduction. This story about a pig zombie has an unexpected twist. Learn about Jordan, a pig zombie who feels divided between worlds and confused about his identity. The cure to his mental state is found in a magical item, an enchanted golden sword. Once he gets it, it will heal him and the demons he is trying to cope with. Together with his neighbors and friends, he figures out what to do with himself and to find inner peace and healing. Halloween is the most fun time for Jordan, which he uses to bond with others and develop new friendships. He is excellent at trick-or-treating and has secret powers related to pumpkins, which he discovers along his journey to self-fulfillment. Eventually, he knows where he belongs and finds his way there. Don't miss out on this super fun psychological Minecraft story about a pig zombie. Chapter 1. I am Darren. Hello, my name is Darren. I am 12 years old and I live in a village with regular people. Strange, huh? Since I am a pig zombie, I've heard of pig zombies attacking my hometown, but not all of us are dangerous or hostile. Everybody has just learned to accept me, which I am pretty happy about. I love sports, especially soccer. I always looked up to some of the great athletes. They are my heroes. One of them, Panadini, is one of my favorites. The guy has brown hair, a light green shirt, and blue shorts. I think he scores about 2 goals per game on average, and he has a way of moving through every defender as if it is nothing. He is the best. I play it a lot. Soccer, I mean. There are little fields outside in the park, which sometimes friends come to. Some of my friends are okay. Other ones are easy to beat. I practice each day, hoping to make it to the pros someday. If I could play for a crowd of thousands of people, it would be a dream come true. I don't think it would matter too much that I am a pig zombie. There are other creatures who play amongst humans in sports games, so it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, I can go on and on about what I do in everyday life, but let me tell you about the story of what recently happened. It was an accident, and I didn't mean to do it, but when I saw it, I didn't have the guts to show anyone. I was just kicking a ball around, like usual, trying to find out how many times I could kick it with my shoes, knees, heels, or head without having it touch the ground. I got to about 54 times. Okay, 53. Okay, 50. Fine, 40 times. That was my record, 40 times. Anyway, I was just doing that for about a half hour, but then I wanted to check the strength of my goal kicks. I put the ball on the floor, stepped back, and kicked it as hard as I could. Whoosh! The ball sped through the air, hitting the wall of some uninhabited house and bouncing back almost right in my face. I think I got a little too close, I mumbled. So I stepped back, put the ball farther behind the wall, and repeated the same action. Bang! The ball hit the wall even harder, despite the fact that I was farther back. I think I am getting better, I said. I'm getting stronger. I can feel it. I put the ball back even farther, about 15 feet, I think. I walked back a little, gathered all my strength, and kicked the ball like a hammer on a nail. The impact was tremendous. Whoosh! Again, the ball flew forward with immense speed. Klingling! Whoops, I said, holding my hand in front of my face and covering my mouth. With big eyes and a sheepish look on my face, I realized what I had done. The ball went through a window. I stood there, anxious and afraid, not knowing what to do next. Should I tell the owners of the house? Should I run away and escape the inevitable punishment? Or should I just go and get my ball back? I was afraid. I just couldn't confess. It was a disaster. I hated myself for it, but at that moment it was too difficult. Hey, pig zombie! A boy across the street yelled. What are you up to? Oh, nothing, I stammered. Well then, do you want to play? No, thank you. And right after I said it, I ran home. I walked up the stairs to my room, not wanting to be confronted with the wrong I had done. I just tried to forget about it, picked up another soccer ball, and started playing with it. Chapter 2. I am Robert. My name is Robert. I am 18 years old. I am a little chubby, not too much, but some of my peers told me I am fat. Insulting, I know, but what am I going to do about it, right? Nothing, of course. So I just let it go. Some time ago, I got addicted to candy. I don't know what it is about candy, but I love it. Perhaps just the sugar, perhaps something else. And sometimes I wonder what's wrong with it. I mean, I am not hurting anyone else when I eat it, am I? Maybe that's just it. Pigs can eat. They eat until they can't fit anything in their bellies. It's just something about that delicious flavor of certain foods that makes you want to crave more. You might have guessed by now that I am a pig zombie. And yes, I look like a pig with the pink skin and everything. I always eat too much and burp loudly afterwards. It's just what I do. I hope I am not making you hungry with all the mentioning of food, but I just got a little hungry myself, so I'll write more later. I'm back, and I just had a big lunch. It was needed. Now I can go through the day without having that terrible feeling in my stomach. Here's what I ate. A hamburger, fries, spaghetti and meatballs, a small slice of pizza, 2 soda pop drinks, 3 regular candy bars, 2 fried candy bars, a big fried fish, and a large scoop of ice cream for dessert. That's not too much, is it? I mean, I could eat more, but this was just enough to fill my tummy. So yes, I have a heavy lifestyle. I don't think it matters since nobody else cares. I am a fat pig already, so why play sports? I never run, I never jump, and even walking is out of the question. Saying that, this reminds me of something I am a little embarrassed about. Not too long ago, I did something bad. I will tell you about it in a little bit, but first, let me just say I was a little clumsy. I was invited to a party. I felt honored, of course, since I don't have many friends. But hey, it finally happened, and I was determined to make it a success. However, I didn't know what was going to occur. Some major catastrophe, at least for me. I arrived at the place where the party was. The house was huge. The front yard had elegant statues, decorative patterns carved in stone, and a flowing water fountain. These people were loaded. I guess if I ate less, I could have saved up more money to buy stuff like that. But eating good food was a priority to me, and I wasn't going to let that go. Anyway, I walked over there, something I rarely did, and I figured that because of all the walking I lost some weight, so loading up on free snacks wasn't going to be a problem. But then I stepped through the door. Well, at least I tried. I couldn't get through. I was too, wide. Or maybe that stupid doorway wasn't wide enough. Yes, that had to be it. I am sure the architect who designed that place and the construction workers who carried out the plans just didn't know what they were doing. The doorway wasn't wide enough. I'm stuck, I said, completely irritated by the rich people's poor choice in housing. We will help you out, someone said. I'll help too, another one said, coming to the rescue. Push! I am pushing. This fat pig is just not moving. Hey, I said. Did you just call me But before I could finish what I was saying, they succeeded and pushed me through the doorway. I rolled forward and landed on the floor, face first. Ouch, I said. You're welcome, one of the guys said. Oh, yes, thank you for... But they walked away. Not the nicest people I've met, I guess. But who cares? I tried to forget about them because I was about to eat some good food. There were a few individuals who shook my hand and introduced themselves. It was somewhat interesting, but not really. All I could think of was how much I was going to eat. I went to the table with snacks, and to my surprise it said, "Please take only 1 bowlful. Thank you." What? These people were rich and they didn't even buy enough to provide everyone a full tummy? I thought this was a buffet, an all-you-can-eat party. It was absurd. No, I couldn't abide by their rules. I could already picture my stomach growling, trying to hike all the way home with an empty stomach. No way, this was not going to happen. I have to admit that I couldn't control myself. Even I, the one with the most self-discipline in the world, couldn't do it. I looked at the food on the table. There were cakes, cupcakes, candy canes, chocolate bars, cream cheese, cheesecake, ice cream, and popsicles, 3 different kinds of pudding, and strawberries and marshmallows you could hold in a chocolate or caramel fountain. How dare they demand that I would only take one bowl when not every dish on the table would fit in my bowl? So yes, I didn't keep the rules, or guidelines, if you will. I looked around, making sure that nobody saw me. Then I reached over and filled up 5 bowls of food, stuffing them in my pockets. My coat was big, and I don't think anybody noticed. However, when I left the party, I almost tripped and lost my balance a little bit. I bumped against the wall and something from beneath my coat spilled. I kept walking out the door since cleaning it up would raise suspicion, but I hoped that no one had seen it. There. That's my confession. That's my story. I just love good food. I love candy. I just can't help it. Chapter 3. I am Tobin. Hi, my name is Tobin. I am 10 years old. Maybe you didn't know, but I am a pig zombie. This means that not everybody likes me. I have been scolded, bullied, and taken advantage of by regular kids. I hate them. I don't think they have the right to treat me like that just because I'm different. But I wasn't going to let them continue this way. I became a mischievous bully myself. It just happened over time, as I tried to fight for my dignity. I guess just telling them they were wrong, or making snobbish remarks after they sneered at me, didn't do the trick. So I decided to fight back. Not literally, but with pranks. Pranks are one of the best ways to go, if you ask me. They don't see them coming, they don't know who did it, and they certainly don't deserve to be skipped, and above all, they can be funny. So let me tell you about a couple of pranks I played on these ignoramuses. Prank number 1. Susie was a mean girl. She always called me names and pointed out that my pig face was ugly. Well, I was going to show her. One time she came out of the bathroom. The bathroom happened to be outside, and in order to get there, you had to walk through the school playground. It was just temporary since the school was under construction. Meanwhile, all of us, unfortunate children, were stuck in some kind of backup building with no bathrooms, no solid walls, and noisy floors. Everyone hated it, and it had been going on for months now. The teachers claimed they were making great progress with the new buildings, but the children in our class just felt like it was taking forever and never going to be finished. But enough background about that. You'll find out in a minute why I am explaining all this to you. Anyway, she came out of the bathroom and stepped outside the tiny bathroom building. Oh yes, did I mention there was a giant puddle on the playground not too far from the bathrooms? Well, now you know. Do you see it coming? It was hilarious. I spun a cord in front of the bathroom from one tree to another. It was the perfect distance and the ideal place to do it. The puddle was muddy and disgusting, something only a pig would enjoy rolling in. Or me, since I am a pig zombie. She suspected nothing. She simply walked to her classroom and tripped. Splash! She fell in the puddle and was covered in mud. Ah! She squealed. But nobody helped her. Nobody heard her. They were all in class. I was there, though. I had been watching from the window before it happened. My plan had been watertight, pun intended. And it worked. Prank number 2. I always hated our teacher, Mr. Stack. But when he called me unintelligent, I knew I was bound to get my revenge. It was inevitable. It had to happen. I know he was just trying to motivate me to work harder at an assignment, but I didn't think it was appropriate that he would call me that. After all, this only became a challenge to see who could outsmart whom, and that's precisely what I was going to show him. Mr. Stack had been in that lazy, no-good teacher's room for 30 minutes. I once opened the door there, and the stinking odor of adult black coffee permeated my nostrils. I don't know why those teachers like it so much in there, but I got out of there as soon as I could, saving myself the gagging reflexes once again. My trap was well-timed and smart. Another tripwire, but a different idea. Mr. Stack had no idea I wasn't playing with the other kids on the playground during recess. Secretly, I had snuck into the classroom, placed the tripwire, and a smelly bucket full of dirty baby diapers and fertilizer from the surrounding farms in town. Ha! Now all he had to do was enter the classroom first, which he usually did anyway. If one of the other children would have come in, it would have been pretty bad, and that's an understatement. It happened. It was awesome. Mr. Stack opened the door and hit the tripwire with his foot, setting off a mechanism that allowed the bucket with poo above the door to tilt and have its contents drop down on his head. Ah! He screamed while he was covered in baby and cattle excrement. It was hilarious. This teacher would never call me unintelligent again, and the best part is that he never found out who did it. Or did he? Chapter 4. I am Rick. My name is Rick. I am 30 years old. I have been in the Army for 12 years now, and I am one of the best. I have trained hard to become what I am today, an officer of the regional district. I have won wars and commanded legions against vicious enemies. I am a pig zombie, as you might have guessed already. No man defies me. I am the highest ranking officer, and my orders need to be obeyed. That status is something only obtained by the most disciplined soldiers. Something went wrong, though. It was only a day ago that I had some bad luck and crashed into someone's valuables. But first, let me explain myself here. It didn't just happen without a reason. It wasn't pretty. Dangerous shade monsters, skeletons, and zombies were planning an assault on the fortress, and they were combining forces to destroy us. Only minutes after their preparation, they came in. Hundreds of them. Screams and war cries were heard from their side, some of them storming at us like raging animals. It was terrible to listen to. I almost felt like blocking my ears, but I took courage and led my troops against the assailing enemies. "For our country!" I yelled. Like a true, brave pig zombie, I ran forward and hit some skeletons in the face. Zombies were trying to bite me, but I resisted and avoided them completely. We were about to overcome them. Our soldiers were fighting for their lives. It wasn't going to take much longer before we would annihilate the army of the undead. But then there were shade monsters. They flew forward with renewed faith in their efforts. There were numerous hordes of them, filthy black shade monsters with shiny eyes. "Pull back!" I shouted, but nobody listened. "Come on, let's get back, retreat!" Again, nobody heard me. They were all walking into a trap, surrounded by the vile creatures from the end. But I wasn't going to let them take us. There was no way in lava caves that I was willing to give up or surrender. So I turned around. Better to die an honorable death than to be the only survivor because of acts of cowardice. I said a little prayer in my head and ran at them. Faster, 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 bang! I accidentally ran into another person. That person was a teacher. What was she doing here in the first place? This was a war zone. But no matter what the reason, she dropped a vase she was going to put in the classroom. The vase fell on the floor and shattered into 1,000 pieces. "Watch where you're going," she yelled in anger. "Just look at what you did. This vase was expensive." I looked at the glass on the ground and I was surprised. I didn't even realize what was going on until a few seconds after it happened. I looked at the teacher. She was furious, so I decided to run away. Ironically, I stormed at hundreds of shade monsters to give my life for the nation, but I couldn't face the shaming of my own teacher. It was bad. Chapter 5. Split. They were all looking at me angrily, the people in that room. I couldn't stand looking in their eyes. There was so much hatred. Why were they judging me like this? Was it because I was a pig zombie? That's discrimination. I didn't get it. I just did not get it. Therefore, I was waiting for an explanation. My favorite teacher looked at me. Her name was Ms. Barley. She was the nicest one in the whole school, and I knew she would take my side. "Jordan," she started, "you are 15 now, and you should know better." "About what?" I asked. "Care to tell him again?" she asked, as she looked at the others in the room. The first one began her complaints. It was an old lady with glasses and a walking stick. She was wearing a gray outfit and looked meaner than the other ones. "I'll tell you what he did," she almost yelled in her old voice. "He broke my window with his ball. He kicked it right at my brand new window, and then I saw him run away, even after another child asked him what happened." "Jordan," Ms. Barley said, "what do you have to say for yourself?" "I don't know," I said. "I am not sure when that happened, but I don't remember much of it." "Well, we will figure this out," the teacher said. "What else?" Then the next person spoke up. It was a rich lawyer whom I thought I recognized, but the memory was vague. I was certain I had seen his face somewhere, but I didn't recall where. He was wearing a fancy shirt and expensive boots. His pants seemed above the average price range, and he had sunglasses that he pulled up to his forehead. "This little pig zombie stole my food and my bowls," he complained. "One of my servants caught him right before he left the door, watching him spill some of it on my living room floor." I wasn't liking where this was going. The teacher looked at me. She seemed disappointed. "He tripped me and got mud all over me," the girl in the corner cried. "It was my favorite dress, and now it's ruined." Ms. Barley looked at me again. "Jordan," she said, "why did you do that?" "Oh, I don't remember doing that," I said. "But I remember you calling me names at school. I never liked you anyway," I said to the girl in the corner. "That's no reason to make me trip," she sneered back. "She is right, Jordan," the teacher said. "You are not allowed to trip people, no matter what they say. But I will talk with her about saying nice things later. Anyway," she said as she turned to another teacher, "why are you here?" "He set a trap for me," Mr. Stack whined. It was my least favorite teacher. He was always insulting me with his unkind comments. "At first I didn't know who did it," he continued, "but then I found something that gave him away, and I just knew that he is the one who had the bucket with dirty diapers fall on me." "Why did you do that?" my favorite teacher asked calmly. "I'm not sure if I did or not," I responded. "But if I did, then I think Mr. Stack probably deserved it. He is always pestering me in class, making me look stupid and saying that I can't do it." "That's because you are lazy in class," Mr. Stack said. "You don't pay attention, and you distract the other students." I didn't have anything to say against that. It sounded like something I would do, but my memory was shattered. I couldn't remember any specific details. The last accuser was another teacher. Her name was Mrs. Snowbird. She looked at me and shook her head before she was given a turn to speak up. "Now you," Ms. Barley said, "what is it that you claim this teenage pig zombie did to you?" "He ran right into me," she started, "and if that wasn't enough, he broke my beautiful vase, and then he didn't apologize, he just left. How rude." Ms. Barley looked at me again. I didn't have the guts to look her in the eyes, so I looked away at the ground, playing with a loose thread on my shirt. She was analyzing me. I knew it. She was trying to find out what was going on in my mind. Then she asked, "And you are saying you don't remember any of these things you did?" "I don't know. Maybe a little, but it's hard. It's like I was a different person back then," I answered. "Back then? It was only yesterday that these things happened. It really isn't that long ago." "Still," I said, "it's weird. It's like a blackout or something." After that, there was a lot of talking. The others went home and I had to stay. She even got a psychologist to come, who talked to me for an hour. It appeared that I was suffering from multiple personality disorder, which is a condition in the brain that makes you think you're someone else at different moments during the day. "You see, Jordan," the psychologist said, "Darren, Robert, Tobin, and Rick were personages in your mind that you made up. They are part of who you are, but they aren't you." "But what can we do against this?" I asked. "It will happen again, won't it?" "Yes, but there is a cure," the psychologist said. "This may sound a little crazy, but there is a sword, an enchanted, magical sword. It is made of gold. Don't ask me where it came from or why it is where it is, but I heard that it heals any personality disorder if it gets touched by the person seeking to be healed." "Really?" I asked. "Where can I get that sword?" "It's in the lava caves. It's a dangerous place, but if you think it's worth it, then you should consider going, especially since you're a pig zombie." "What does that have to do with it?" I asked curiously. "Pig zombies have certain powers. I don't know exactly which, but it might be easier for you to withstand the lava and such." "Thanks, I'll look into it," I said confidently. Chapter 6. The Golden Sword. The lava caves was a place nobody would ever go to. It had lava streams like hellfire, and it was called the lava caves because it was literally underneath everything in the planet's core. Ms. Barley was very concerned when the psychologist told me about the lava caves, but I had decided to stop this personality disorder and get healed. I didn't like doing things and then having a hard time remembering what I did. It was annoying. She might have been against it, but as stubborn as I was up for an adventure. When I prepared for my journey, I made sure I got a protective suit against the heat in the lava caves. However, when I arrived at the lava caves, following the directions of the few who heard about it, I didn't think it was that scary. It was beautiful. I loved the lava, I loved the fires, and what others would consider a dreadful place was like home to me. Perhaps because I was a pig zombie and didn't always feel at home between those villagers anyway. Who cares? I loved it, and I was going to get my golden sword. I stepped on a black block, a platform drifting downstream in the lava, but I didn't watch my step. Suddenly, I slipped and one of my feet ended up in the lava. Psst! Youch! I screamed, thinking that I just burned my leg off. I looked at it, but there was nothing wrong with it. It was as if I was immune to it. My skin was resistant to fire and lava. How interesting. I wanted to try it again, but I wasn't sure if I should. What if it was just a one-time incident? What if something weird happened, and the next I really would burn my foot? I thought and thought, but I just wanted to know, so I decided to risk it. You may think I was crazy for trying this, but since I was a little crazy to begin with, I didn't think I had much to lose. By the way, don't try this at home unless you're a real pig zombie. I closed my eyes tightly and moved my foot towards the lava, slowly. Psst. It made a sizzling sound, but I felt nothing. I pulled my leg out of the lava and discovered that no harm was done. "Yes!" I exclaimed joyfully. "I am resistant to the lava! What am I still doing on this platform? I might as well swim through it." And that's what I did. I took off my suit and jumped in the lava. I started swimming and felt like a fish in the water. It was great. After a while, I came to the rock in the shape of a skull. This was where they said the sword would be. I looked up. The skull looked creepy. A light was radiating from the skull rock's eye. "That must be it," I said out loud. I didn't wait any longer and swam towards the rock. When I came out of the lava, I noticed something I hadn't thought of. My clothes were burned. I was completely naked. It made sense because I was immune to lava, but my clothes were not. It didn't matter though, since there was nobody out here, and I looked like a pig zombie. I mean, I was a pig zombie, so oh well. I went on and climbed to the top, crawling through a narrow space to get to what I thought would be the shimmering sword. Then I saw it. It was a beautiful sword. It was glowing. I touched it and felt an immense rush going through my body. Visions unfolded before my eyes about things I had done as one person and another. I closed my eyes and could remember everything. Never before had I felt so good. I was certain that I was cured. What a powerful force. What an awesome sword. I was sincerely impressed. I didn't expect it to have such a profound effect on me. I decided to go back to my hometown. It took a while before I found my way out, but I came to discover that the lava caves was actually really well organized. Well, at least I thought so. To any of the villagers, it could have appeared as a chaotic mess, but an inner instinct in my pig zombie's brain told me exactly where to go and what to do. I found my way out within a small amount of time. It was easy. I was actually looking forward to coming back here someday, no matter how crazy that sounds. When I came to the village, I snuck back to my house. I didn't want anyone to see me, since I still wasn't wearing any clothes. Luckily, it was midnight, and there was not a soul to be seen outside. Chapter 7. Halloween. I came back and felt like a new person. I was nicer to the other children, and I never got mixed up. My name was Jordan, and I knew it. I would never forget it. My memory was healed by the magic sword. That month, it was Halloween. It was my favorite time of the year. I always liked the scary and mystical stuff anyway, but it was even better around Halloween. It was a free ticket to scaring people. That's how I saw it. It was a time for candy, which I don't feel addicted to anymore, but I still like it. It was a time for dressing up. I was crazy about this holiday. But now that I had a new attitude towards life, I wanted to give something back. I had been nagging and bullying. I had done stupid things and caused accidents, and now it was time to be a little selfless. I discovered another of my superpowers, spawning pumpkins. For some reason, I was able to create a pumpkin out of thin air. I found out about it when I wished for one but didn't have the money to buy one. Okay, so perhaps some of the competitors or pumpkin vendors weren't happy with what I was doing, but these people didn't have anything to begin with, the ones I will tell you about now. I asked some of my friends to come over and showed them what I could do. They were amazed and immediately came up with 100 names of people who were impoverished and didn't have any money to buy a pumpkin. I wanted to help them have a happy Halloween, so we took the list of addresses, visited them by knocking on their doors, and creating a pumpkin in front of their eyes. Some people just expressed a simple thank you. Others were in tears of joy and gratitude. Some of them weren't home, and some didn't really know what to think of it, but whatever happened, I was glad to contribute. One time, something went really wrong, though. I banged on the door, and the door broke. "Great, now look what you've done," one of my friends said. The old lady who lived there opened the door, or in other words, opened what was left to open. She asked us what happened. "I'm sorry," I said. "I will try to fix it." And so I did. I was shocked how easy it was to put the door back on its hinges. However, after that little incident, I decided it was better for me to stay in the back and have my friends knock on doors. After those names, we did real trick-or-treating. We got a bucket full of candy after an hour or two. "Are you thinking what I am thinking?" one of my friends asked. "That depends on what you're thinking, but I think we should take these to the same people we just brought a pumpkin," I said. "Let's just have one first," my friend said. "We don't need it. They may be happier with it than us," I said. "Please, just one each, and then we'll give the rest to them." "Okay, I think we deserve at least one piece of candy," I admitted. We all picked our favorite and went back to the poor people we knew. Most of them didn't mind us bothering them, especially when we brought them candy. It felt good to give something back to the community. I apologized to the people I had wronged, and everything turned out to go well. Chapter 8. Back to the Lava Caves. After the Halloween fun I had in the village, I decided that it was time for me to move on. I had lived in that village all my life, but when I came to the lava caves, I felt right at home. I was immune to the lava, there was all kinds of fun stuff to do for a pig zombie, and there was hardly any threat. It was the place to be. I said goodbye to my friends and to my friendly teacher, Ms. Barley. I said goodbye to the psychologist who had showed me the way, and I left. I left to the lava caves. It was great, nice and hot, like a jacuzzi. It didn't burn my skin, and I loved swimming in it. There was enough food to go around, since all I had to do was step outside, hunt for something, and roast it above the lava. And guess where I slept? In the cave, near the amazing sword. Anytime I felt sick or tired, I would touch it and feel the renewed energy flow through my body. It was pure magic. The end.